Have you ever paused and truly considered what lies beyond that 75th birthday? There's a common narrative about later life. Isn't there one that sometimes paints a picture of decline and fear, especially when we think about our final chapter? The truth is, many of us carry a quiet anxiety about death, what it feels like, what it means for our loved ones, and if we'll be ready. This fear can subtly overshadow the joy and wisdom that truly define our senior years. But what if I told you that much of what we fear, or what we expect, about the very end of life, especially after 75, isn't quite accurate? What if there are hidden truths, gentle understandings, that can actually transform that anxiety into peace, and even a profound sense of purpose for the time we have left in this conversation? We're going to explore 5 surprising hidden truths about death after 75, insights that every senior must know to live fully, without unnecessary worry, and to approach the future with wisdom and grace. Stay with me until the very end, because I promise, what we uncover will truly surprise you and could change the way you view the rest of your life. Let's dive right into the first hidden truth, one that often surprises people and can bring a huge sigh of relief. Death is often a gentle fading, not a sudden, dramatic event. Our cultural stories, the movies we watch, the news headlines we see, often portray death as a dramatic, sudden happening, a heart attack, a tragic accident, or a painful, drawn-out struggle. While these things certainly do occur, for many, especially as we advance in years beyond 75, the actual process of dying is far more gradual. It's often a slow ebbing of energy, a quiet withdrawal, a gentle letting go. Think of it less like a sudden, jarring thunderstorm and more like a peaceful, prolonged sunset. The vibrant colors slowly soften. The light gently fades, until the day gracefully gives way to night. This truth is often hidden from us because we don't really talk about it. Doctors are trained to prolong life, not necessarily to explain the natural process of dying. Families, out of love and often fear, avoid the topic altogether. This silence can leave us with a skewed perception, fueling a deep anxiety about a sudden, painful, and traumatic end. But understanding that for many, it's a more gentle decline can allow for a focus on comfort, on peace, and on cherished moments, rather than a frantic pursuit of more time at any cost. It allows us to shift our focus from fighting an inevitable battle to embracing the natural rhythm of life. What this means for you, practically, is that you can begin to open conversations about what a good end of life looks like for you. It's about accepting limitations gracefully, finding peace in rest, and allowing yourself to be cared for. It's also about preparing your loved ones, gently helping them understand that this final phase might be more about quiet presence and comfort than a frantic medical race. And this brings us so beautifully to our second profound truth. The overwhelming desire for control and dignity becomes paramount in our later years. As our physical capabilities may naturally diminish, the internal desire to maintain our agency, to make choices that reflect who we are, and to be treated with profound respect becomes incredibly strong. This isn't about being in charge of every single thing that happens around us, but rather about having a say in the broad strokes of our journey. Even when we are vulnerable, the fear of losing our minds, our physical autonomy, or our ability to communicate our wishes can be more terrifying than the thought of death itself. This truth is often hidden because our society tends to equate control in healthcare with aggressively fighting every illness and extending life at all costs. But for seniors, the understanding of control often shifts. It becomes less about quantity of life and more about the quality of the journey and the dignity with which it unfolds. When this profound desire for control and dignity goes unaddressed, it can lead to immense distress, a feeling of being powerless or unheard. But when it's acknowledged and respected, it empowers individuals to make choices that truly align with their deepest values and beliefs right up until the very end. The practical steps here are incredibly important, and they are acts of immense self-love and love for your family. Think about creating or updating your advance directives, documents like a living will or naming a power of attorney for healthcare. These are not just pieces of paper. They are a profound expression of your deepest wishes. They are your voice when you might not be able to speak. Discuss these wishes openly and honestly with your family and your doctors. Before a crisis arises, clearly define what dignity means to you. Is it about being comfortable at home? Is it about avoiding certain medical procedures? Is it about being surrounded by specific music or people? Being proactive in these conversations can alleviate so much future anxiety for both you and your loved ones. For instance, choosing to spend your final days in the comfort of your own home, surrounded by familiar objects and family, rather than in a sterile hospital environment, is a powerful act of dignity and control over your personal journey. Understanding that control isn't about fighting death, but shaping its journey, opens the door to our next crucial hidden truth, one that often holds more weight than we realize. Now, let's explore something deeply personal, something that touches the very core of our relationships. Unfinished emotional business weighs more heavily than physical pain in life's final stages. While physical discomfort can, thankfully, often be managed with good medical care and compassion, the burden of unspoken words, unresolved conflicts, or unexpressed love can cause profound emotional distress. These are the what-ifs and the if-onlys that can gnaw at us. They are the regrets about past actions, or even inactions, that linger in the quiet moments. Think about that lingering disagreement with a sibling, a word of gratitude you never quite voiced to a dear friend, or an apology you wish you had offered to a family member. These things, though intangible, can feel incredibly heavy as one approaches the end of their life. This truth is often hidden because we tend to put off these difficult conversations. We tell ourselves there's always more time, or we fear confrontation, or we simply don't know how to begin. But the impact of leaving these emotional loose ends untied can be profound, leading to a restless spirit and a feeling of incompleteness that no amount of physical comfort can truly soothe. Conversely, addressing these matters brings immense peace, allowing for a freer, more peaceful passing. The actionable insight here is simple, yet incredibly powerful. Take the initiative, while you are able, to say those 5 crucial things: I love you, thank you, I forgive you, please forgive me, and goodbye. This isn't just for the other person's benefit. It is profoundly for your benefit. It's about clearing the slate, both for yourself and for those you care about. Write letters. If talking feels too difficult, have those difficult but loving conversations now, not later. Even small gestures, a phone call, a shared memory, can mean the world and release a great deal of emotional tension. It's about finding that precious inner peace that comes from knowing you've done your best to tie up all the threads of your life's tapestry. And while you're busy finding peace for yourself, remember there's another hidden truth at play, one about those who will miss you most. Loved ones often struggle far more with the idea of your death than you will in your final moments. This might sound paradoxical, even counterintuitive. We tend to assume that the person who is dying is the one suffering most. However, for many individuals as they approach the very end of life, there's a natural process of letting go, a psychological and spiritual shift towards acceptance, and often, even a profound sense of peace. The body and mind naturally begin to detach, to quiet down. But for those left behind, the journey of profound loss and grief is just beginning. Your family members, friends, and even pets will be adjusting to a world without your physical presence. They may cling to hope for miraculous recovery, struggle to accept what is happening, or feel overwhelmed by the impending absence. This truth is often hidden because we shy away from talking about it openly. We don't want to upset the person who is dying by burdening them with our own future grief. We might even fear that discussing it will somehow make it happen faster. But the impact of this silence can create a disconnect, where the dying person feels pressured to keep fighting, and families are left unprepared for the tidal wave of grief that will inevitably come. One of the greatest acts of love and foresight you can offer your loved ones is to prepare them for your departure. This isn't morbid. It is an act of profound compassion. Talk about your wishes, share stories, laugh together, and even cry together. Normalize the conversation around death as a natural, albeit painful, part of life. Reassure them that it's okay to grieve, and that your love for them will remain, even if you are no longer physically present. Share your wisdom, your memories, and your values. Help them understand what brings you peace, so they can find their own peace in knowing they honored your wishes. It's about building a legacy of love and connection that transcends the physical realm, rather than leaving them with an extra burden of unresolved questions or unexpressed feelings. For instance, sharing your favorite funny stories from your youth, giving a treasured possession to a grandchild, or simply discussing your funeral preferences can ease their future burden and leave them with a sense of having fulfilled your wishes. This generosity of spirit, this foresight to ease the path for those you love, leads us directly to our fifth and final hidden truth. A truth that might just be the most comforting of all. Now, for the truth that might surprise you the most. The one that often gets overlooked amidst all our anxieties. There can be profound beauty, peace, and even moments of unexpected joy in the very last chapter of life. Our society typically portrays death as a bleak, sorrowful, and frightening event, often devoid of any light or meaning. While sadness and grief are undeniably natural parts of loss, the reality for many is that the final stage of life can be a time of incredible calm, profound clarity, and deep, often wordless, connection. It can become a sacred time, where the worries of the world fall away, and only the purest forms of love, acceptance, and presence remain. This truth is often hidden because our focus is typically on fear, not on the potential for transcendence or serenity. The media bombards us with images of medical struggles, neglecting the quiet moments of connection and acceptance that often occur. If we approach this final chapter expecting only suffering and despair, we risk missing the profound opportunities to embrace these peaceful, sometimes even joyful, moments. The actionable insight here is to simply embrace presence. Focus on comfort, on companionship, and on simple pleasures. It's about being fully in the moment, rather than fixating on the past or fearing the future. Listen to your favorite music, hold hands with a loved one, or simply share a quiet, comfortable silence. Allow for spiritual or reflective moments, whatever that means to you personally. Whether it's prayer, meditation, or simply gazing out a window. Be open to surprising moments of clarity, even if they are brief, where a loved one seems to wake up and connect in a deeply meaningful way. Understand that the journey is not just about an end, but about a completion, a final flourish of spirit. It's about celebrating a life lived, embracing the natural cycle of existence with grace and acceptance. Find beauty in the quiet, in the deep connections formed, and in the profound, often unspoken, love that surrounds you. This allows you to find your own unique way to say goodbye, not in fear, but in peace and profound acceptance. You might see a peaceful smile, a sudden moment of clear memory returning, a gentle hand squeeze, or a final knowing look that communicates more than words ever could. These are the quiet, beautiful moments that often define a peaceful passing. So, we've journeyed through these 5 profound hidden truths: that death often comes as a gentle fading, not a violent end, that the desire for control over your journey, and dignity in it, becomes paramount. That unfinished emotional business weighs more than physical pain. That your loved ones may struggle more than you in your final stages. And finally, that peace, beauty, and even unexpected joy can be found in life's very last chapter. Remember, knowing these truths isn't about dwelling on the inevitable or inviting fear. It's about empowering yourself to live more fully, more authentically, and with less unnecessary worry right now. These aren't secrets to dread, but profound insights to embrace. They're about finding peace within yourself, fostering deeper, more meaningful connections with those you love, and ensuring that your final chapter is as rich, personal, and dignified as the rest of your incredible life. By understanding these truths, you can choose to approach the future, whatever it holds, with wisdom, courage, and a calm heart. I truly hope this conversation has offered you comfort, clarity, and perhaps a new, more peaceful perspective. If any of these truths resonated with you, or if you have your own experiences or thoughts to share about this tender topic, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Your insights could provide immense comfort and help someone else who is navigating their own thoughts about this journey. And if you found value in what we discussed today, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. We're building a community here dedicated to living our very best lives at every age, with wisdom, joy, and purpose. And your support helps us reach more wonderful people just like you. Thank you for spending this important time with me. It's a privilege to share these messages with you. Remember, every day is an opportunity to live with intention, love deeply, and find joy in the present moment. Live your best life, not just at 75 and beyond, but every single day. You truly deserve it.